Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe, now redone by Disney, Oracle Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it, Legends. I'm in my work clothes. I mean, mine is this. This is what I wear to, stay warm, but, my pants have been out in public, and I don't want to wear that on my bed, because it's where I sleep. So, that's why I'm sitting like this. But, today I have for you just two things really, which is Jedi Academy 3, Jedi Knight 3, Jedi Academy, and Crimson Empire 3, where we conclude the story of Korkanos. Kennex Keel. So, first off, the Jedi Academy game. You play as Jaden Core. Now, in this game, you can play as numerous different races, whatever is your preference, but the only canonical version to play is as a human male, because there is a duology after Legacy of the Force that involves Jaden Core, where he is described as a human male. So, there you go. Jaden is a new recruit, a new willing to learn student of the Academy. He's coming to Yavin to train, but there's stuff afoot going on. But that being said, he meets a friend. His name is Rosh, who I did not verify this beforehand, but I am fairly certain is Max from a Goofy movie. I could be wrong about that, but it feels like that. I feel like I'm right, because it's a very distinct voice that I know I've heard somewhere before. So I'm going to go with that. If I'm wrong, that's okay. I don't do research because I'm lazy. Plus, I got to go to work. But yeah, they go to the academy. They end up, becoming the students of Kyle Katarn. Because Kyle Katarn, since the last game, has since dedicated himself to the Jedi Academy. He's now a teacher there. There's still not enough Jedi, I guess, around, or Jedi Masters around. We don't get to see them in the game, but they are mentioned, like that Corrin's there and stuff, and Streen and stuff. They're all mentioned. We just don't see their character models because they didn't have one for them. But they're at the academy and they get their own students to train and stuff. They get more than one student because there's not enough Jedi Masters at this moment to only have a one-on-one. Like in the prequels, you'd have like Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin. But right now, there's just simply not enough masters for that, so masters are getting a couple apprentices to train. So that's how it is right now. But they go on there's a bunch of missions going on, and throughout the missions, some of them are more generic than others, stopping, criminals and whatnot. But the overlying thing is that there are these cultists that keep popping up. What do these cultists want? Well, they want to bring back the ancient spirit of Marco Ragnos. Yes, an ancient Sith Lord they want to bring back from the dead, which is actually pretty crazy and a huge EU connection, which they didn't need to do, but they did do that, which is great. The leader of this cultist group is the woman that Kyle Katarn, in the canonical way to play the game, spared her in Jedi Outcast. She was one of the followers of Desan. But now she follows Marco Ragnos, and she will bring him to life. Jaden as a character is fairly bland. There's not much to him because he's supposed to be you, basically. So he, she, Rhodey, whatever, it's just you. So therefore, the character's not really that much. I mean, the character seems fine. Seems like a good Jedi. I like him. Fair enough. I like Rosh a lot more, actually. Rosh is this really loud, really, I want to be a great Jedi, da-da-da-da-da. And he, of course, falls to the dark side. But you're also struggling with the dark side because you struggle with anger as well, or Jaden does. But in the end, they both make it out as Jedi. But by the end of the game, the disciples of Ragnos are all on Korriban trying to resurrect Marco Ragnos. And Luke doesn't make it there in time. Kyle Katarn doesn't make it there in time. Jaden Core makes it there in time. He fights the possessed, the girl that, was from the last game. She's possessed by the spirit of Marco Ragnos. Jaden Core manages to defeat that spirit. The spirit says, "One day I shall return and seek my vengeance," which, as of the rest of the expanding universe, never happens. Maybe if we get the expanded universe continued, there'll be another story where Marco Ragnos comes back. But as of this moment, he never does. So his revenge will never happen. But this is like, Jaden Korr's like big step. This is his movie essentially. So by the end of it, Kyle Katarn and Luke are like, yeah, you've done it. You're officially like one of the main characters now. You're one of us. You've done it. You defeated a big bad, so you get to be in those ranks now. So come on and join us as a Jedi. I don't know if he's a Jedi Master yet though. I think he's still just a Jedi Knight, but he'll probably be a Jedi Master at least after New Jedi Order because he survives all of that and he's in Legacy of the Force. So he's most like, I don't remember if he was. I'm fairly certain he's a Jedi Master by that time. I'd be surprised if he wasn't, considering he survived the events of the Vong War and, everything with Jason. So, because when he shows up for like a brief second in Legacy of the Force, and then he has a duology in post Legacy of the Force. So, I'd assume he becomes Master, but I don't remember. But that is it for Jedi Academy. Moving on to Crimson Empire 3. What did I think about this glorious sequel, which didn't get made for like 11 years? Because the second one was in the 90s, and the third Crimson Empire did not come out till 2011. 2011. 2011. Like, that's so much later after the fact. It's like it's a less extreme extent of issue 108 of the old Marvel run. Like, that's crazy. That being said, Muraf Zin has been a part of the security force for Leia all this time. Luke is... I don't understand it. Is this meant to connect with the Callista Trilogy and Crystal Star? Because he's still acting out of character. And I don't have the excuse of Waru affecting his mind this time. So he is just acting out of character. So I'm just going to have to assume he's still being a whiny baby over Callista because he is overly suspicious and mean in this book or this comic, which is so unlike Luke. Like, he does not ever give Kirkanos the benefit of the doubt. He's like, he must be bad. It's like, bro, you forgave Darth Vader. You allowed Kip Durin to keep being a Jedi. And Kirkanos is too far? Come on. I don't know, man. The writing for Luke, this is just an era. Like, this entire section of the expanding universe up until after Black Fleet Crisis is just Luke not acting like Luke. For all of it. For all of it. And it pisses me off. But I don't care that he's sad over Callista. You're 30. Get over it. But that has to be the reason, or at least that has to be some sort of explanation outside of the comic, because there is no explanation in the comic. It doesn't reference Callista or anything. He's just acting out of character. So we're in this era of the Star Wars expanding universe where Luke just doesn't act as he should. And I just have to deal with that. I don't know. I mean, I guess he doesn't act out of character in Black Fleet Crisis. I just hate his entire story in Black Fleet Crisis. So, but we'll get to that next. So, we'll see. Anyway, so I didn't like Luke in this comic at all. What did I like? The overall plot. Like, genuinely. This is better than 2. Hot take, it might be better than 1. I might piss off a lot of people with that con. I honestly, I loved it. Here's a big reason why the central plot focuses around Gilead Pelion. My boy, my man is the center focus of this story. So there's this entire separate, like, Imperial faction that its entire plan is because Pelion. And this blew my mind because I never read this. I didn't read the comics in the post Return of the Jedi era. I didn't. I only read the novels, so I knew nothing about Crimson Empire, right? So I get to Crimson Empire 3, and I'm like, this can't happen because Pelion's trying to have peace with the New Republic, but that can't happen till Hand of Thrawn. So what's going on here? And so he generally is going to attempt it. However, as peace treaties are going, as it does in so many different things, everybody gets shot up. Everybody gets shot up. So Pelion thinks it's the New Republic retaliating, but that's exactly what the different faction of the Imperial Remnant wants Pelion to think. So they can, so Repellion. Pelion is forced, out of honor and duty to attack the New Republic. And while he's attacking the New Republic, the other faction of the Empire can go and strike at Pelion's Empire, which is kind of like the main thrust of it right now, and take over. That's kind of like the gist of it. And I love that. I love getting to see Pelion in like in a visual medium. Pelion's so freaking cool, man. Pelion is so goated. I love Pelion so much. He's one of my favorite expanded universe characters. Oh my god, I love him so much. No character, no writer, no author has ever done him wrong. Even here, he's still just as goated. Nobody was able to mess up Pelion, guys. I'm telling you. He's so good, and everywhere he shows up, there's not a single place where he's bad. He shows up in the Clone Wars. He shows up, here. Every time, even if it's not written by Zahn, he's written to perfection. I love Pelion. Like, you can say all you want about Legacy of the Force, but Pelion is so on point in that series. Because Karen Travis loves him, just like I do. Because he's great. But yeah, so the central focus is mainly around him. What else do we get? I mean, we get a little bit of fan servicey because Boba Fett shows up, of course. Of course. He's there. And then we also get Vima Dabota from Dark Empire, and she's like, you gotta watch out for this threat of this Imperial Remnant. And I'm like, would she really care though? Like the Palpatine coming back, I understand that. Like, that seems like something to mention to Luke. But some Imperial warlord, I don't know. This doesn't seem like something she would bother him with. I don't know. That one felt forced. But you know what I did like? More than the second one, actually. Nominor shows up again. It's very small. It's very brief. But it's just showing him. It's just a small thing. But it's just showing him sowing dissent. Which he does best. Because that's what he's been doing this whole time. Just sowing dissent. Sowing dissent. To get ready for the Vong. And this was written in 2011. So this was written after those books had come out, after all of New Jedi Order had come out, whereas 2 came out before New Jedi Order came out. My biggest issue, though, is that it shows like a panel of him like in darkness. You can see the silhouette of his face, and he looks nothing like a Vong. He looks like, if anything, he looks a bit like Darth Plagueis, which is really weird. But the armor and stuff, looks a lot more like it, and it's just cool to see a Vong in this time period before everything goes down. But it was a very small thing, but I really enjoyed it. We get to see the Solo kids. They're just kind of freaking around because why not? I love how Han just wants to go see his family. I love that in this little thing. But yeah, I mean, we didn't even mention Kirkanos. I mean, it's been so long now. I thought he was going to try to get revenge on Luke. He literally doesn't care. It's been so long now, he doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about, having that happen anymore. He just wants to, live a decent life. But he wants to complete this mission, out of obligation. So, of course, he defeats the Imperial Remnant. Not the Pelion one. He defeats the other one. Or he defeats the main dude in that. And he goes presumably dead. He's not actually dead, but he's presumed dead. So he can go... I mean, he's never referenced again in the Star Wars Expanded Universe unless the Star Wars Expanded Universe gets continued and people include him in stories post-Crucible. But as of now, Kirkanos' story is pretty much done. He will never pop up again. So, there's that. Until the EU gets continued, this is the end of his story. But, he goes off with Mara Zin. They live happily ever after. And that's pretty much the gist. Oh, and then the ending. So, the daughter that was at the peace treaty dies, but she has a clone. I forgot she had a clone, but she has a clone. And that clone, because I will do my best to honor your daughter and replace her. And I'm like, what? I mean, dude, you can love that woman all you want. That's still not your daughter. That's a copy of your daughter, but that's not your daughter. I don't know, man. That was a little weird, but it is what it is. At least he's happy, I guess. But that's not his daughter. That's a copy of his daughter. It's not his daughter. It's not her. It's somebody else. I mean, if the Republic Commando books, if the Filoni show told us anything, is that each clone is unique and is their own distinct individual. So that clone is not his daughter, but he's gonna treat her as such because psychological issues. Anyway, that was just something I wanted to mention. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one a hell of a lot more than 2. I'm gonna say that. I don't know if I can honestly say it's better than 1, though. I might. I might actually go that far. I really enjoy Crimson Empire 3. It's my favorite of the bunch. I think the overall story is good. I think the art is much better. Minus some things like Luke and stuff. I just overall think it's a better experience than than Crimson Empire 1 or 2, which might be a hot take. That's how I personally feel though. So I'm going to stick with it. Frick all of you. I'm going to stick to my opinion. Fight me. Fight me down in the comment section below. I don't care. Um so I hope you won't hate me, okay? I hope you still love me and still want to watch. There will be a minor break after this, okay? I'm going to read another Dune trilogy. Please, I wanted a little break away from Star Wars for just one trilogy, okay? And I'll be back in full swing with Black Fleet Crisis, with New Rebellion, and the Corellian trilogy, okay? So that's what I have planned next, moving forward. So 3 Dune books, and then a whole bunch more Star Wars stuff, okay? But that's just I just want a little break. I hope you will check out those reviews. If not, that's okay. Don't unsubscribe. I'm not done with Star Wars. Please. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I have to head to work, but I hope you all have a wonderful, glorious day. And don't forget to let the Force be with you. Until next time.